الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب كلا هدينا ونوحا هدينا من قبل ومن ذريته داود وسليمان وأيوب ويوسف وموسى وهارون وكذلك نجزي المحسنين وزكريا ويحيى وعيسى وإلياس كل من الصالحين وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا وكلا فضلنا على العالمين ومن آبائهم وذرياتهم وإخوانهم واجتبيناهم وهديناهم إلى صراط مستقيم ذلك هدى الله يهدي به من يشاء من عباده ولو أشركوا لحبط عنهم ما كانوا يعملون أولئك الذين آتيناهم الكتاب والحكم والنبوة فإن يكفر بها هؤلاء فقد وكلنا بها قوما ليسوا بها بكافرين أولئك الذين هدى الله فبهداه مقتده قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إن هو إلا ذكرى للعالمين صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al-An'am, this is the 6th surah of the Quran. Today we are going to start from, inshallah, ayah 84. Last week we had said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has elevated the status of Sayyidina Ibrahim ala nabiyina alayhi salatu wassalam among the people, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does elevate people in terms of rank, in terms of respect, in terms of reward, whoever He wants, whoever He chooses. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is counting 17 people from the family of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam who were made Anbiya. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ إِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ كُلًّا هَدَيْنَا. They were all on the guided path, on the guidance. وَنُوحًا هَدَيْنَا مِن قَبْلِ. And Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam was not among the progeny but among the forefathers of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِهِ. And from his children, Dawood, wa Sulaiman, wa Ayyub, wa Yusuf, wa Musa, wa Harun. All these are Anbiya and great Anbiya. وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. This is how we reward the Muhsinin, the righteous, the good, the doers of good. Allahu Akbar. وَزَكَرِيَّا وَيَحْيَى وَعِيسَى وَإِلْيَاسَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps on counting Anbiya. كل من الصالحين. All of them were from among the pious, the righteous. وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا وكلا فضلنا على العالمين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them respect in their times in the people of the world. ومن آبائهم وذرياتهم وإخوانهم. And from their fathers and their children and their brothers. واجتبيناهم وهديناهم إلى صراط مستقيم. Ijtaba, or it is basically choosing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose many, وَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ, and gave them guidance to the right path, إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ, to the right straight path. So Hazrat Mufassirin have said that there's two things that should be noted about the person of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam from these ayat. One is that Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he left his family because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made him a Nabi, and he had the right hidayah, the right guidance, which is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only God. He took the very difficult path of leaving behind his family, and he argued and tried to bring them to reason, and then finally later on he left that place because his people would not let him be. They tried to throw him in fire, and then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him from that, he left that town. So not only did he leave his family, but he also left his town, his hometown where he was born, the place that he was familiar with. In these two ways particularly, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam is very much like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had to face the situation too. His own family would not own him, and they made life miserable for him. As long as he was in Makkah, he was not allowed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to leave that place. He had to suffer everything. He had to give up his home. At one point when he had left his home for traveling, he feared for his life, that how would I be able to enter the city back again when I do not have any peace there. He, for a significant time, all sorts of edible things, all sorts of things of consumption of humanity were blocked from him. He was not allowed to use any of those. So in that, he was cut off from his family. And Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, the same happened to him. And Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam left his hometown, the lands of Iraq and Syria or Sham, and he had to move out from there. And when he moved out, there was nobody with him except for his wife and one of his nephews, Sayyidina Lut ala Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam was also literally pushed out of Makkah because he was not allowed to live there. People were standing at his doorstep with swords drawn, and he had to leave his city. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding these mushrikeen that this is the very sign, the things that you are doing to this Nabi, this Prophet, these are the very signs that prove his reality, that he is the real Prophet, because this is what our Anbiya, that you are prophets in the past, that you consider to be true and respected, the exact same situation they had to face as well. This is one among many signs of him being the real Prophet of Allah. Then where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he left a land, a fertile land of the lands of Syria and Iraq, and he was pushed out literally. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inherited him in the best of the places, which is the Makkah, the center of Islam, the place where all the Anbiya had come, the most sacred of places. He had to leave his family behind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him such a family that Allah is counting 17 Anbiya from that family. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a family which was much better. So this is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards people who sacrifice in his path. This is the life story of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he was troubled, he had to sacrifice, and Allah rewarded him. And Allah made it a proof that the people who sacrifice for us, Allah, not only the real reward for them is in the hereafter, but Allah is so shakur, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not delay their reward. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also rewards them in this world as well. All these Anbiya, according to one school of thought, all of them had come to prepare the world for the coming of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What happened with Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, Allah had written in his book many thousands of years before any human being was created. This Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had, these are the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that were already there. All of that was that one day a Prophet of Allah, the final Prophet of Allah, would be telling his people and reminding them about the people whom they respected, and using that as a proof that this is also one of the things that prove that I am a true Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also reminding Sayyidina Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam that remind them and remember yourself what happened with Sayyidina Ibrahim ala Nabiyina alayhi salatu wasalam. He was pushed out. Allah replaced all of his troubles with much better things. They thought that they had disrespected him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Sayyidina Ibrahim ala Nabiyina alayhi salatu wasalam such a respect that he's well respected. Religions, the major religions of the world even today are Abrahamic religions. He is well respected in all the religions of the world, major religions. ذَلِكَ هُدَى اللَّهِ يَهْدِي بِهِ. All these people are on the huda of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the guidance of Allah. That is Allah's guidance. ذَلِكَ هُدَى اللَّهِ يَهْدِي بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. Allah guides with it whomsoever He wills. Whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts on the guided path. And who does Allah want it for? Those who want to achieve guidance for themselves. Those who present themselves that we want to be guided, Allah wills for them to be guided. وَلَوْ أَشْرَكُوا لَحَبِطَ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Had these people, these Anbiya, had they also associated partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is not possible because they were Anbiya, and their purpose in life and their reason for coming was to bring people towards the oneness of Allah. But had they done that as well, مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, they would have been, all they did would have been nullified for them. So all their deeds would have also gone to waste. And so those people who think that we are doing good deeds and they are also doing shirk, but we are a good person, all of that is going to go to waste in the hell, and they are going to end up in hellfire, because no goodness matters, no good deeds matter without the first thing, the first prerequisite, the first requisite, which is that you have to have belief in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحُكْمَ وَالنُّبُوَّةَ. These are the people, these Anbiya. الَّذِينَ, these are the people, آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحُكْمَ وَالنُّبُوَّةَ. We gave them the book, we gave them wisdom, and we give them nubuwah or prophethood. فَإِن يَكْفُرْ بِهَا هَؤُلَاءِ. So if these people today, Allahu Akbar, these people disbelieve in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they disbelieve in the concept of prophethood, فَقَدْ وَكَّلْنَا بِهَا قَوْمًا لَيْسُوا بِهَا بِكَافِرِينَ. Then we have deputed for believing in this concept of prophethood and your prophethood, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a lot many people who will not disbelieve you, who will not even come near kufr, which is, of course, the first and foremost of them are the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But this includes me and you as well. Then inshallah we are also never going to turn away from deen, and we are also going to live and die on this concept of prophethood of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, its finality, and the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ هَدَى اللَّهُ فَبِهُدَاهُ مُقْتَدِي. These are the people whom Allah has guided, so it is their guidance that you should follow. All of the Anbiya that came, they all brought humanity towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although their teachings were massacred by their followers, the people after them. But all of them, none of the Anbiya were such that they called people towards shirk or associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا. And tell them that I do not even ask you for any reward, any sort of reward, in terms of respect, in terms of money, in terms of whatever, in terms of women, in terms of anything. I do not ask anything from you. Your bringing faith is not going to benefit me. Your believing in me is not going to benefit me. And you disbelieving in me is not going to harm me at all either. In huwa illa dhikra lil alameen. This book that I have brought is nothing but a guidance for the worlds, for the worlds. A good advice for all the people and whatever the whole world contains. Alameen means all the worlds. By a mention of these Anbiya, not only Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, but all these Anbiya were respected, because the primary address at that time in this situation were the mushrikeen, or the people who had associated partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of idols and sun and moon and the stars. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by reminding all these people, these Anbiya who are well respected by these Arabs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them that what special sign do you want to see in Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This was their life, and this is the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you say that Allah has not given the book, then these people were also given nubuwah. So if you are saying, because a lot of them were saying that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they believed that there is going to be a final Nabi, but they said that you are not that person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them that what special sign are you waiting for? What special sign are you looking for? This is the life which is very similar and very comparable to these Anbiya of the past that you believe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all to the right path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us people of the Quran who are the most respected and the special ones to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.